Hello, it is topical Tuesday, September 17th, excuse me. Ho ho. Caught a little something going around, little frog in the throat, as they say. Apologize. It is topical Tuesday, September 17th, 2024. Steve Sipress here. And I can take a hint. I got to get through this as quick as possible. But what's in the news is a report came out today. Excuse me. And another survey yesterday. So yesterday we got the report on consumer retail spending here in the U.S. And the big news was like, oh, look, spending is up by 0.1%. And then, of course, it says not adjusted for inflation, where, of course, inflation is up a lot more than 0.1%. It's up around 3% or a little higher. And so that means relatively, of course, spending is not up. People are not even keeping up with inflation with spending, which is why the economy is still in shambles, has been for years, no real end in sight. And in an election year, the powers that be, they always are going to rig the numbers in their favor. That's no matter what party is in power or whatever, that always happens in the election season. Gas prices are down and prices overall are down and the economy's looking better and unemployed this and that and whatever, of course. And then later on they'll adjust the figures and all. But anyway, so terrible consumer spending report. And then today, on the heels of that, comes this article with the headline, Small and Medium-Sized Businesses Face Inflation Troubles as Consumers Reduce Spending. So this one, honestly, talking about how consumers are reducing spending, because if it's up 0.1% compared to inflation around 3%, it's not up. And this was a survey done by Constant Contact, the email marketing company. Maybe you use it, I have in the past. They survey businesses in 5 English-speaking countries around the world: US, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand, and the numbers are not good. So we got good news and bad news, and I'm going to give you the bad news first. And I had to do this in front of my monitor here because, of course, I couldn't commit all these facts and figures to memory, and I want to get them straight for you, so I'm going to just read right from the survey that they also, not only did they, by the way, survey business owners, they surveyed consumers as well from 18 and up to find out how they are acting. And so one number shows here that the people buying from small businesses way down, that in 2022, 52% of U.S. consumers said they did business with 3 or more small businesses in a typical week. And now that figure is 25%. So dropped in half, a little more than half, from 52% to 25% of people buying as much from small business owners as they did just 2 years ago. And that, of course, is post-shutdown numbers 2 years ago. So that's for the first time, we're starting to get far enough away from the shutdowns that we're now back to, we don't have to say, oh, pre-shutdown and all this nonsense. We're comparing numbers that compare well. So also, more than half of consumers globally have reduced their spending with small businesses this year due to inflation, which is double the percentage of the last time they did this study in 2022, where 27% of consumers said they would spend less with small businesses that year because of inflation. This year, it's 52%. Now, how did small business owners, how are we responding to this? 46% said they had to cut back on expenses. I got good news for that. 39% said they had to increase prices. Well, of course, with inflation up, you got to increase prices no matter what, unless you're loony. 24%, that's why that number's scarily low at 39%. I mean, when's the last time you got a $5 footlong? Isn't that like $12.99 now? Like, if you're not increased, what is the Happy Meal is $15, $17 in some places where it used to be $5. Like, if you're not, only 39% of business owners increasing prices, hello. By the way, I'm well known for saying if you want to double your price, triple your value. So it's very easy to increase your price. You just add a ton more value. So example there, the Happy Meal. Instead of the Happy Meal just being whatever it is, add in a supersize the fries and add in a refillable shake or an apple pie for dessert. It's just to add a lot more value. And then people go, wow, that increase in price really not bad at all, because look at all this. I got triple the value and the price only went up double. That's a very rudimentary on-the-fly example. It's much more easily done in other industries. Talk to me if you want. Go to my website, aigrowthwizards.com. My calendar's right up there on the website. You can get on my calendar, talk about any of this stuff. And the good news about how you can overcome all this. So that's coming soon, but let me give you some more of the bad news first. 46% of small business owners cutting back on expenses. Good news for that. 39% increasing prices, strangely low. 24% are working to improve efficiency. Got good news for that. 22% are focusing on improving customer retention. I got good news for that. As they attempt to manage through this inflationary period. Only 11% have not been impacted by inflation. So 89% of business owners admitted they're impacted by inflation. I don't know what the drugs the other 11% are on, but there's always outliers and exceptions to the rule and whatever. So 11%, maybe they're selling extreme luxury items or items to extremely broke people. Neither one are greatly affected by anything going on in the economy, because the wealthy, the ultra rich, not affected at all. Their necessary expenses are a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of their income, their wealth, no matter what happens. Whether they go up 10%, 100% doesn't matter to them at all. And the same with the mega poor. They're not going to be well off no matter what happens to the economy, so they're not affected. It's the middle class that gets crushed in this bad economy that's been going on for years with no end in sight. But if you're selling, private jets, you shouldn't really be affected by inflation, because people that buy private jets have tremendous amounts of wealth and money, and they're buying as many private jets or more than they did in the past. And another topic for another day. 31% of small businesses attribute, this is about the holiday season, we'll skip that part. In a typical year, 65%, almost 2/3 of small business owners struggle with either budget limitations for marketing or lack of time for marketing. I've got tremendous solutions to that. Of course, direct response is the marketing. If you don't know about that, again, get on my calendar. I'll help you get started with it. That's, of course, always the answer to that. You put out small amount of money that immediately and directly comes back, and when more comes back, you reinvest it. You pocket some, you reinvest, then you pocket some of that, you reinvest again, you pocket some of that, you reinvest again. I didn't put my light on here. You pocket some more, you reinvest it some more. Maybe the battery's just out. Okay, got to recharge the battery. And so with a very small budget to start, by the end of a month or 2 or 6 months, you can have a budget of thousands of dollars a day. So that's a solution to not having a budget for marketing. You're doing the wrong kind of marketing. But I digress. These businesses that have bad ideas about marketing, they think they have a lack of time for it. I got a solution to that. Budget limitations, just gave you a solution for that. They also face customer engagement challenges, and 32% find it difficult to come up with new ideas for marketing. Again, easy. All the solutions for this are really easy. On and on and on and on. Blah, 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 blah. Ironically, 20% of small business owners don't have a way to understand how each marketing channel contributes to their overall marketing goals. They're not tracking. So I got solutions to all this, and the solution, in case you can't guess by the name of my company, AI Growth Wizards at aigrowthwizards.com. It's AI. You got to be engaging AI right now. You're almost, we used to say just months ago, future-proof your business, and pretty soon you're going to have to be using AI. You're going to go by the wayside. That's pretty much happening right now. If you're not using AI, but any competitor of any kind is, you're getting trounced. They are just saving so much time and money and effort, and everything is being done better. That how you're going to compete with your humans doing things that, a human can take 6 or 8 or 10 hours to make up a proposal or a report or this and that the AI can do in 3 minutes. Like, how are you going to compete with that? So Here's some of the things I just mentioned. So 46% said cutting back on expenses. Well, like I just said, you get AI to do stuff. It's cheaper than humans can do it. So you get it done cheaper. There, you're cutting back on expenses. Stop paying humans to do stuff. Have humans do higher level stuff like analyze the data or come up with ideas for things or deal with people, with your customers, your clients, your patients, or your members in your business, and stop crunching numbers and doing reports and doing menial things that takes them hours that AI does in seconds. 24% said they're working to improve efficiency. Nothing improves efficiency more than using some of the over 15,000 AI tools that are out there. And ideally, you really want to get the best efficiency. You chain efficiency. You chain them together. When you chain the right ones together in the right way, like I said, things are just done almost instantly, and they're done better. Mistakes aren't made because they're not humans. They're not getting bored. They're not falling asleep. They're not skipping a couple of steps. They're not doing it all together. Like, efficiency goes way up thanks to AI. Really is revolutionary for business. I mean, I hope you've heard this. If you haven't, gotten into it yet or gotten real into it yet, I don't blame you. It's still confusing, overwhelming, on the cutting edge. That's why. You can go to my website, aigrowthwizards.com. Told you I got my calendar on there. Just set up a call. Be a very brief call, but I'm not selling you anything on the call or any of that kind of stuff. I'm not going to talk about implementing anything. We're just going to explore what aspects of your business you're most frustrated about, that you really like to stop doing what you hate. We have a phrase a client of mine came up with, automate what you hate. That's what he said after we started doing stuff. He said, hey, we're automating what we hate, getting rid of it. We never have to do that again. So we'll just talk about their limitations based on the technology you're already using or not using, how you do things, how you want to do things, don't want to do. May or may not work with AI. Some things AI might be able to do 100%. AI, other things they can take away 20% of the stuff from you, 40%, 50%. So we'll just have a very general conversation about, are you a good candidate to replace some of the boring, repetitive tasks that you, or even worse, you're paying other people to do, or I don't know what's worse, if you're doing it yourself or paying others. Both suck. How much of that can be replaced with AI, if anything at all? Again, get on my calendar, aigrowthwizards.com. And more good news. Budget limitations, we talked about that. Lack of time for marketing, are difficult to come up with new ideas for marketing. Well, I've programmed ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. We have programs inside of these, not just the prompts, the actual programming of the GPTs to ask you the right questions, to do all the research, and within minutes give you 100 marketing ideas. This is shocking to me that in the age of AI, 32% of business owners say they find it difficult to come up with new ideas for marketing. And when AI is just sitting there, of course, yeah, sure, you can speak English to it, but you got to speak it in the right way, right? But when you do that, when you say the right things in the right way, at the right time, using the right AI tools, you're going to have, not only never going to have a need difficult to come up with new ideas from it. You have too many ideas, you're going to go, whoa, which I hear all the time. Steve, that's way too many ideas for marketing. Like, let's just pick 3 and let's work on those. Like, we can't all do all this stuff at once. Well, again, I hate to beat a dead horse here and be a broken record, but thanks to AI, humans, you think you could do 3 at once, AI can do 100 at once, 1,000 at once. Come on, what are you waiting for? Go to aigrowthwizards.com, talk it over with me, somebody else, figure it out on your own, whatever, but get with the ball game. This survey really bothers me, that small business owners are struggling needlessly, because before AI came along, the answer would be, well, hire more people. And then the comeback, which I've always gotten, I've worked with thousands of clients over the years, is like, well, we can't afford to hire more people, even though, everyone you hire makes you money when you do it right. Yeah, but a wrong hire doesn't. And besides, you have to put out the money first. And AI tools, a bunch of them are free, a bunch of them are what, $20 a month or something? Like, we're not talking about hiring somebody for $30, $50, $60, $100,000 a year. We're talking about someone to give you nonstop marketing ideas, like a CMO, a chief marketing officer, might cost you $300,000 a year. with salary, benefits, perks, everything. How about $20 a month, and you talk to AI in the right way, and it can spit out more ideas faster and more efficient and better than that CEMO ever could. You hand them to the CMO, and then the CMO, someone like me, can look them over and can help ask some follow-up questions of the AI and say, yeah, but dive deeper into this, and I think you're a little off track on this, and what about, and here's the best one, and I think this. But certainly, just as a font of drafts and proposal and ideas and suggestions, but then also actually getting stuff done with the right AI tools. AI does all that. So in the past, it would have to been, oh, hire a staff of 10 people. Good luck to that. Now with AI, like, it's there, sitting there. Millions and millions and millions of people are using AI every day. Non-business owners are using it, right? To write a poem in the voice of a pirate, like, "Arr, mighty," but, yeah, do whatever, make up a social media post, about what I had for lunch, or what I mean, silly, ridiculous things are being done all day. How about business owners? Are you solving these major problems that are in this survey? And there's a lot more where that came from, and you don't need me or any survey to tell you. Like, what are the problems that are eating at you in your business that are holding you back? Many of them possibly could be solved almost immediately with AI, with being pointed in the right direction and using AI, the right AI tools, using them in the right way. So that's it. I'm beating a dead horse. But the only reason, well, I don't know, there might be others, but like, if you're not booking a call with me, you're either, using AI to the utmost capability and you're flying with it and it's growing your business like crazy and you're even working less, making a ton more money, making it easier than ever before. Or you're so scared or overwhelmed by it that you don't even want to, or some people tell me they're worried about, like, want to have to learn something new, or my staff will have to now learn a whole new way of doing things, and I don't like change. Of course, nobody we're human beings, we don't like change, but you're a business owner, so you ought to like change for the better. If it's for a lot better, if it's only going to make a small difference, that's what this call is for. I'll tell you, it's not worth it. It's not worth all the time and energy you'd put into that, and then getting the staff on board with this and that, if it's only going to take away 3% of what you're doing, or this or that. So we'll have that kind of talk. By the way, my partners, every one of them that does these introductory, exploratory, discovery calls, whatever you want to call it, they all charge for them. I'm pretty new to partnering up with them, and I'm still bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I love small business owners, so I said, I'm not going to charge. But that time will come where my calendar will fill up, and I'll get tired of saying the same thing over and over to people that don't take action, don't do anything, or they're scared of running the business properly, or making money, or solving their problems, or whatever. And I will start charging. But right now, I'm putting it out there for free. Give me a break. AIGrowthWizards.com. My calendar's there. You don't have to pay anything to just get on it. Can't be on there all day, of course. Short call. But I have carved time out in my calendar to do a few of these every day. I enjoy them. Had 2 of them this morning. Really loved it. Opened some eyes and got some people pointed in the right direction. And that's what I love. And once in a while, we'll take on a client, and we will help you put all this stuff into place, or half of it, or a quarter of it, or one thing, or whatever it is you want to do. But for now, call is free. You ought to go there. If not, stick here. I'll be back every day with some more tips that you can listen to and say, that sounds pretty good, and maybe someday, and not a problem. I've been there myself, and if that's the way you want to be, you're fine. You don't have to do anything. You own your own business, right? There's still businesses that don't have websites. Back in the day, it was like, oh, I don't need a website, and then overwhelmingly business had websites. There's still lots of businesses don't have websites. They use these share websites, or they're just listed in directories, or whatever. So you own the business. It's fine. You want to embrace technology. You want to not embrace technology. It's all good. I'm just suggesting I'm here to help. If you do want to check out the possibility of embracing technology that is changing the lives of people in every conceivable industry, in every conceivable way. And by the way, I'll just finish with saying we're not at all about getting rid of or replacing human beings, as people are. It's one of the big fears, like, oh, AI is going to take all the jobs. No, we're talking about enhancing you and your employees' workday. No longer doing the menial, repetitive, boring, hated tasks, doing higher level stuff that's more productive, more enjoyable, and makes more money, and keeps your employees with you longer, because how are they going to leave when you've AI-ified a lot of their business, their day-to-day activities and their tasks? They're going to go to a competitor that hasn't done that, and then they have to go back to doing all that themselves or by hand, or not having it done at all, or having it done worse and slower. Another big problem you can solve that's going on in this economy is better retention. When you find good people, you keep them by enhancing what they do with AI. All right, I'm off the soapbox. That'll do it. For Topical Tuesday, September 17th, 2024, I did see a whole bunch of comments fly by. Toby Mersinger is here. Tobe Meister says, raising the minimum wage killed the motivation for advancement of new employees. Well, of course, artificially, by the government raising wages. The government, of course, they don't pay wages. We pay government wages, right? My tax money pays government wages. Government workers that mandate these things, they don't pay anything. They never sign any paychecks. They spend our money. They don't spend their own money. They don't know what they're doing. So typical bureaucrats and government officials and politicians never know what they're doing. And of course, the wages raised by businesses, like when Henry Ford came out with a $5 an hour wage over 100 years ago and revolutionized the world, there was no government mandating that nonsense. He wanted to outdo all his competitors, which he did, and blow them all out of the water. So he raised wages and got all kinds of great people to come, and they stayed with him forever. So when businesses choose to raise wages, hey, if they're wrong, it's a mistake. Maybe they go back. But if it's right, it helps their business. But when government sticks their nose in where it doesn't belong, like wages being paid by employees to workers in a business, like, only disaster can ensue, and that is one of the things that's happening. You pointed out, Toby, you're right, but that's just one of the factors that is leading to the horrible economy that we have been most business owners have been limping through. Now, my clients and my business is booming, almost out of control. I mean, we control it. AI, by the way, is easy to turn off as it is to turn on. So when you have too many leads or too many appointments or too many clients to deal with or whatever, and you haven't set up AI yet to onboard your clients and get them involved, then you just turn off the spigot for a little while. But if you don't have the spigot to begin with, then I guess you're doing business your way, which is fine. It's up to you. You can do what you want. That'll do it for today. Thanks, Toby, and everyone else for being here today. And I'll be back again with you tomorrow on World Wide Web Wednesday. I will catch you then.